employees were taken care of. For those of you that are in business, you know that's how it happens sometimes. You do what you have to do. Who am I? I'm just like you. I'm probably more of a regular guy, or just as much of a regular guy as everybody in this room. I could be your neighbor. I assure you, I'm your friend. I tell my wife, my motto is, to know me is to love me. If you don't love me or like me yet, you just don't know me yet. So that's why I'm going to be traveling this state, giving people the opportunity to get to know me. I'm a city councilman. I'm a mayor, a business owner. Today I serve in the state senate as your senator. I serve all the state of Oklahoma, even though I was elected out of Owasso. And I got to believe that I am no different than you. I've got goals for myself and my family, my kids. I've got dreams and aspirations, and I can tell you, being governor is not something I aspire to. It's something I feel compelled to do. But I have concerns, just like you, because I am you. I face the exact same things that you face. Last November, we faced a traumatic time with my son, 34 years old. 9 years he worked for a company. He got laid off. One Friday morning, they called him in, no notice. The company laid off a third of their workforce in one day. We spent the next 4 months doing probably what some of you are doing today. Looking for a job. I mean, scouring the newspaper, spending hours and hours online trying to find our son a job. I know what a lot of you are facing. I'm just like you. Today we're faced with bailouts that the politicians were so proud about when they did it. They're going to save us. You know, riding in on the white horse, the stimulus money pouring into the state of Oklahoma, indebting our future. It is, you know, I don't even know how to express how distasteful what is going on in Congress and right here in the state of Oklahoma with this bailout money. The politicians today are choosing to literally mortgage our kids' future, their economic future, to make it a little easier on us today. And you know what, folks? This is happening on our watch. We're the ones in charge today. It's happening on our watch. Can you imagine what would have happened had the World War II veterans done to us what we're doing to our kids? It's shameful. And yet we have elected officials at all levels of government standing and telling us what a great job they're doing. We're going to help you. Let me remind you, government's role is not to help. The government's role is not to provide. The government's role is to protect our God-given rights, life, liberty, and property. That's right. So we are faced with the problems of today. And we will have problems tomorrow. But I believe that the things that are plaguing our nation, greed is one of them.
Yeah.
I believe that everything can be cured simply if we would expand our freedom. If we would reclaim the founding principles that this nation was built on. It worked for 230 years. What's wrong with today? I believe those things would still work. I believe that limited government, individual liberty, personal responsibility, and the expansion of government will fix the problems of today. I truly do. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be standing here wasting my time talking to you. And I know I'm not wasting my time, because this is a message that is important that the people need to understand. And the good news is a lot of people are starting to wake up. People around the country are realizing something's not right. I may not know exactly what it is, but something is not right. And they're just looking for somebody to stand in the gap for them. Someone we can believe in. Leadership we can believe in. And leadership makes a difference. Who am I? I'm someone that is excited about the future. I got to tell you, I wouldn't be fighting the fight so hard and so desperate if I didn't believe I couldn't make a difference. I've seen the difference one person can make. And I'll give you a real quick example. From day one, since I was elected to the Senate, one of the things that I despise, that we do for economic development, is encourage and promote corporate welfare. And now, that's not what we call it. We call it economic development. But it's truly corporate welfare. Now, as a business owner for 30 plus years, I've made some outstanding decisions in my business, and I've made some pretty lousy decisions in my business. And guess what? I get the risk, and I get the reward. And that's the way it should be. But in the state of Oklahoma, we have chosen to entice, coerce businesses to come into the state by giving them your money. Now, do you think it would be fair for me to pass a bill and make you invest in your money in my business? No. It's not fair. No. But you know what? That's what we do every day. Probably a dozen times this year already, we have passed legislation that takes your money and gives it to that business across the street. Oh, but it's good reason. They're going to hire more employees, and they're going to retool, they're going to modernize, and they're going to expand their pocketbook with your money. So I've got a better idea, and I am excited about the potential that is laying before me to make a difference. Because I can assure you something. Under the Brogdon administration, and I had some plans. I truly do. I've got some ideas that I can't wait to get out. It's the same ideas that I have been promoting from day one. And little by little, I'm getting some of my legislation passed. But I'm telling you, it'll make a difference. And it does make a difference. Who's on the second floor running this state? Today, I got to tell you, I am so frustrated with Brad Henry. He vetoed a pro-life legislation yesterday, last night when nobody was watching, about 11 o'clock when the legislature went home, so we couldn't take it up last night. But guess what? The House came back and immediately overrode his veto this morning. That's the good news. The bad news, we failed in the Senate. The pro-life Democrats in the state Senate today stood and justified. Well, you know, I'm pro-life, but in this case, they were telling us that they're not going to vote to override his veto because this has the potential to create a lot of jobs in the state of Oklahoma. That's the justification today. It's about life, but it's about protecting life in the future. Folks, I'm concerned about protecting life that is alive. That's right. Today. So it's a sad day in the state of Oklahoma. It's a sad day because we have a governor that continually fights us on pro-life issues. Now, as a 100% pro-lifer, I don't even know how to have a discussion with them. It is like speaking Spanish or Chinese. I don't understand their thought process, how anyone could choose to destroy life. Now, that's me. And there may be a varied differences of opinions in here.